So I was trying to film a while ago, but my microphone died. Good thing I still got coffee. It's cold, but well, still can enjoy cold coffee, especially in this hot weather of Saigon. And I don't know if you can see beside me is the Saigon River. Really lucky to have this place in a big, crowded, urbanized city. The greens is very healing, very relaxing for me. Yeah, so good morning. So I wanted to talk about making more friends while you're growing up or growing older. I'm in my mid 30s actually, and I used to not be good at making friends or starting friends. I'm good at keeping friendship, but not on, initiating one because I've had this belief that the fewer friends you have, the happier you are. But I realized over the years that that's not true to me, to my tendency as well. So it's always good to evaluate things that we hear or stuff that we read in the internet that may sound wise, but you know, doesn't always apply in our context or in our situation. Can you hear that? That's how it is in Saigon. Someone's selling bread in his motorbike. But yeah, you don't have to always believe what any wise thing that you hear from other people. It's always good to find your inner truth and see if they work for you. So I thought that was always the thing to go to have fewer friends when I was younger. But that changed a lot with my experience the past few years. So what happened was I fell ill. I was living in Hanoi back then. I felt really ill and I had to go through a serious therapy. And being a Filipino, we have a very wide community, very tight knit community, and my friends would come to me to show support. They would come at my apartment, then cook for me, and then they would, play my guitar, sing songs, and I appreciated it very much. That made things turn around for me how I see people. That there's always in every person, there's always something good in them. No matter how you disagree with some positions or some beliefs in life, there's always that connection. And I learned that when in the most trying days, I needed people or I needed company because I was living alone in Hanoi, far from my family. And that was a very good experience for me to realize that making fewer friends is not always the way to go. See, when I was younger, I identified as an introvert. And like I told you, I wouldn't always be the person to initiate friendship because I have so many evaluations and judgments about other people when I find that one person, for example, his name is John, is affiliated to this political figure or they believe in this political figure, I would immediately think that they're not a good person to be friends with, or that they're stupid, or they're dumb for, affiliating in that person, or they are that as violent as that person may be. So that is how I used to think. Or when, for example, someone is rich, I would always judge them as privileged or someone who doesn't know how to value hard work or things like that. And yeah, that's really good to drop. It's not always good to attach to your identity. When we think that we're introverts, we think that's who we are, but That's not really who we are. Our ideas about ourselves change throughout our life depending on our experiences. And it's good to be always evaluating about our beliefs about ourselves that, you know, they're not always true in many situations. And if you stick to one thing, then you're very resistant and you don't allow things to flow. So, the best way to view it, at least from my experience, is that to approach the present moment with the other person, not always relying on our belief system about them and about ourselves. If the person smiles, then you smile. If they're congenial, then be congenial. And that's a thing to bridge, the differences, the present moment. Otherwise, if you're thinking of the past, if you're thinking about their affiliations, our thoughts will disconnect us. So, yeah, I've been making more friends lately because I approach things on the level of the present moment. It doesn't matter whether they voted for this person or whether they come from this kind of family or they work in this place that I don't think is too good for the environment or something like that. And it's been fruitful for my happiness and for my health. We don't always want to carry something heavy whenever we meet another person, especially if it's someone new or even an old friend or even an old acquaintance, because they change too as much as we change. And whatever the past looked like, it probably was not something good between, at least for me, between the two of us. Then I chose, at least for me, I choose to not attach to the past. As I experience life, I see lots of changes. And yeah, it's good to, it's a very reassuring way to be able to rehash relationships. And another thing that I learned is if you have judgments about other people and if you become more graceful towards their lapses, or if you become more aware of your judgment, you're doing that for yourself. The person who benefits the most is not the other person, but ourselves, because we don't stress ourselves of our expectations. We also become more graceful and more forgiving to ourselves, which is just a lighter way to grow older or at least grow up. I'm in my mid 30s now, and that's the direction I'd want to take for the rest of my life, to grow a community, to be connected to people, to have more friends, have coffee with them. And I hope you can join me for a cup of coffee too one day. My Filipino accent slipped. I said kopi, kape. So, yeah, I hope you have a good day and enjoy your coffee. I'll see you around.